Buhari regime working with other nations to designate Ipob terrorist organization. Garba Shehu. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. The regime of President Muhammad Buhari is seriously working to get foreign allies to outlaw the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, as a terrorist organization, says the president's spokesman, Garba Shehu. Buhari's administration is redoubling effort to have Ipob rightfully designated as a terrorist group by our allies outside of Nigeria, an act which will collapse the ability to transact gains from crime and extortion in foreign currencies. Mr. Shehu disclosed while responding to a scathing reports by London-based magazine The Economist Sunday night via a statement. The spokesman boasted that with the arrest and ongoing trial of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of Ipob, and the end was nearer for the separatist groups and its agitation. In the southeast, Ipob, which The Economist rightly describes as delusional, the arrest and present trial of the terrorist leader of the group is the beginning of its demise, Mr. Shehu said in his rebuttal. Mr. Shehu dismissed Ipob as an unpopular group in the southeast. Agitations for a sovereign state of Biafra, currently championed by Mr. Kanu's Ipob, predates the group or its leader. It first began in the 60s, triggering a civil war that claimed the lives of over 3 million Nigerians. Violent campaigns against the government establishment have continued unabated despite the seizure and incarceration of Mr. Kanu in SSS custody since June. Aside military crackdown on operatives and sympathizers of the group around Nigeria, the Economic Senate's latest issue reported that Nigeria under President Muhammad Buhari has become a crime scene of destructive magnitude on the African continent, describing Nigerian army as corrupt organization merely mighty on paper. It is sad, very sad. So, welcome to Nigeria, where you as an agitator and you that is calling on the government to right their wrongs, you become or you're tagged a terrorist group just because you have a symbol and a color, and others who rape, who maim, who wreak havoc, who slaughter people on a daily basis, who send people to their early graves, who make people orphans, who take away people's means of livelihood for them and give them trauma for the rest of their lives. Those ones are referred to as just mere criminals. Why the protesters, those who are seeking for nothing more than justice, fairness, and equity, they are referred to as terrorists. It is wonderful. I mean, it is so saddening that at this point, this is happening. And we keep calling and referring to Nigeria as a democratic nation. It is sad. So if I am oppressed and I am intimidated, I am not supposed to open my mouth and say it. Why? Because the government will see me as its enemy and tag me a terrorist. Isn't it absurd? In this time and age where nations are seeking to grow higher, people who are in the third world, they are trying not to be referred as a third world country anymore. They are striving to be amongst those they refer to as developing countries. Yet, Nigeria is here struggling to name freedom fighters terrorists. It is absurd, and it is very saddening. I hope the electors and the people of Nigeria have learned from this one, yeah? I hope come the next election, you will right your wrongs by voting for people not because of their popularity, not because of their personality, not because of how good they have been to you, because anybody that is going into that seat is going to affect the rest of our lives for the next 4-8 years. So you cannot afford to choose someone based on sentiment. You cannot. Choosing of or the election, you casting your vote should be based on how competent a person is, Has he or she been sincere in his or her doing in the little office he or she is running? If the person has run or has been a leader in a public organization, in government parastatals before, how well was the person during the tenure? What can an average commoner in that particular organization say about that particular person? Not just what his or her circle of influence will have to say. That is it. This is what happens when you choose someone based on tribalism, ethnicism, favoritism, and all that. This is what happens. The havoc this particular administration has wreaked so far is the biggest, as in, is the huge in the history of Nigeria. Everything that has never happened before in this current administration. And the funny thing is, they are not taking all this criticism. Okay, if the whole population, if out of 100% of Nigeria, 90 is saying this administration is bad, isn't it true? But the whole 90 population be lying, and yet we are not even talking about one particular person's. It is even sad that, okay, the presidency himself is getting it wrong, but doesn't mean the cabinet and the circle of influence, those around him that give him advice, have refused to tell him the truth. It is very sad. Very, very sad. It is only heard in Nigeria that freedom fighters are referred and protesters. You see the video clips of this recently done NSAS memorial, this 1-year anniversary. It is as if the protest was being done afresh, because everything these people said against, everything they protested against was still going on. People were still being manhandled and beaten like criminals. Their crime, only they came out to say this government should sit up and do things rightly. That is the only offense. That is their only offense. You are intimidated by the executive arm of government and by the legislative arm of government, and you run to the judiciary thinking you'll be safe there. They will throw you behind bars and free your oppressor. That is what is happening in the country. And yet they say people should not talk. How do you beat a child and expect the child not to cry? It is not, you cannot do it. That means you are evil. That is it. You cannot be flogging a child and expect the child not to express pain. It is not done. And yes, this thing goes on a daily basis in our country. There is no Nigerian that has not been intimidated. On a daily basis, it happens every day. No Nigerian will come and tell you that on going to work in the commercial bus that you take or in your vehicle, it's either the police harasses you, it's either this security, this, I don't know, a lot of things. In the office, the same thing. The only thing these people are after, before they ever start agitating for their state, was justice, equity and fairness. Just the three things. Just the three things. Equity in allocation of funds, allocation of resources, and allocation of what do I call it now? Equity in everything. What is good for this particular region should be good for another. That is it. And the people in the administration right now are saying that these people are terrorists. It is sad. Very saddening. Saddening to hear this on the first day of the week.